stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. You look at the short minutes on Friday. Do I have a motion? Go ahead, Rick.
Yes, I'd make a motion. I'd make a motion that we approve those from Friday.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, how about the claims? I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything either. Looked them over pretty good. Secondary roads has quite a bit of expense there, but they were doing their oiling. And then I think the quarterly allotments went out for the libraries. So other than that, I didn't really see much.
Okay,
Anything out of the ordinary, put it that way.
there you go. Okay, Gary made a motion.
And I would second that to approve them.
Okay, all in favor of approving the claims?
Aye.
Okay?
Aye.
Here's that for you to sign. I have a couple loose ones since
Yeah.
like Darren and Grace weren't here end of June. I thought maybe you guys could approve initial days for me. But
Okay.
they won't go in until the next round.
Right, and then you should have one for, I learned about conservation over the well.
Oh, I haven't seen
You
that
haven't
yet.
seen that bill yet? A little over $4,000. She was hoping that comes out of the ARPA fund, so we
Okay.
need,
We probably need to have ARPA meeting
Yeah.
again anyway for
Yes.
the election stuff too.
yeah,
And then what I'm showing them, Rick, is just some HR, or not HR, but the public health, like when we
Health
advertise. Yeah, I figure we're gonna have to do some amendments in a few different ones, so might as well pay it from that department.
Yep. Makes sense to me.
So that's what I'm just having him initial to go in the next claim run.
No problems, no problems. Will I need to initial stuff when I get back or not?
We might have you catch up on that claim report, but that's probably the only one right now. Or some of the
Okay.
resolutions, but they can wait.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that was still in red when you were gone. I just do that on all of those meetings when you guys tell me you're gone, because I had Myron gone and on another time too, so. That was
Yeah, a
that
little out
was,
of the ordinary. I've never seen that before.
no, that was my fault. I was rushed yesterday. I didn't post till the last minute and I didn't wipe it out. Usually I do that, so I apologize.
Yeah.
$9:05, let's get you started, Barb. Thank you.
Thank you.
The farm exemption application for Timothy Stainbrook. He is in Harrison 24. They have 120 acres there, and they are doing corn and soybean rotation on that ground. And they are going to be bringing in a manufactured home on there for Timothy to live in, because he is the one farming it for the family.
Okay. Looks like everything's in order.
Yep.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion from Gary. And I guess, Rick, you probably want me to second it since you don't have the information in front of you? Rick?
I don't know if he's on there now.
Looks like it died.
But I guess you might have to second it.
Okay, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
if he knows he's cut off.
Can you hear us? Doesn't even, it says handset one, but it was red before, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, the landline don't work? Okay,
It's red. Having trouble.
all right, I'll put you on speakerphone, all right? That's fine, I don't
Tell him
care.
to try it again.
Haley wants you to try it again.
It just lit up, the phone did.
Try it again, all right? Try and if it don't work, just call my phone back, I'll watch it. Bye. Yep,
When I moved it, did you see that?
yeah. Does it say how low the battery is?
Well, it's on the
It's
charger.
charging right now.
But it's sitting
Maybe that's
on
what it
but
is. Yeah,
I
it was
don't
sitting
know.
there, but maybe it wasn't sitting on the electrodes.
Gonna do the resolution next.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
number 6.
Okay.
Unless we're having issues and nobody else knows about it. Ben's gonna run over here anyway for that other mic, but,
It says it's charging.
This mic's flashing.
yeah, I can't get that one to turn green. Ben's on his way over here. I had problems with that one, but that shouldn't have anything to do with the phone though.
No go, eh? Okay, I'll put you on speakerphone, we'll just use my
What the
phone,
heck?
okay? Yep,
What'd you say? Ben's on his way over here, but it must be something else going on.
can you hear us now?
I got you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go,
I had a question, on that Timothy Stainbrook.
yeah,
Does Tim own the land, or is that his, father's land?
No. It's
Not that
all-
it matters, but,
It's an LLC, all 4 of his siblings own it.
Tim is,
Okay.
Or his
okay,
aunt.
do you hear all that?
sure, he's a
Part-
farmer, that's
yeah.
fine, that's
Yep, in
fine.
the
104.
LLC.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and we had a vote, me and Gary voted, and I'll let you vote now.
I would vote in favor of it.
Okay, there you go, unanimous.
All
Done
right,
deal.
thank you.
Yep, thanks, Rick. Okay,
So number 6, while Barb's in here.
yep,
So I was approached from that Ludden second we approved back in, was it November?
November.
November, but they're past the days for the recording after 120 days. So we have to amend the resolution to re-adopt it and then do all the final paperwork again to approve that plat.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
So-
But nothing's changed, nothing?
No
Right.
legal, the legal's all the same, but we just have to do it by a new resolution because it's past the requirement
Okay,
date.
so you get a new resolution number, I presume. so-
Yep, number 2350, and then it's approving the final plat of Ludden second edition.
Okay, all right. I don't have a problem with that. I'd make a motion that it be approved.
okay.
We've done this in the past with others.
Yep,
Okay, Gary seconded by resolution,
Beershank
Aye,
aye.
well, Primer, aye.
Beershank aye.
Seaman, aye.
and that's the one I'll get your signature on next week so they can get everything recorded.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we got 5 minutes before we gotta have Matt, so what's
Okay, do you want to do some of the quarterlies?
Yes,
Well, can we do number 4?
okay,
You know, because we have to officially appoint him.
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything we need to say other than, make a motion that we appoint appoint Darren Stein as the weed commissioner. Do I need to throw in there as per Iowa Code 317.3?
Sure.
Okay,
That way we're covered, right?
it's official, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my motion.
Second.
Is this by resolution?
Nope, nope, this is
Okay.
just your appointments that we normally do at the first of the year.
Okay, roll call.
Beershank, aye.
Well,
Well, that's fine.
and Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Yeah, we covered the base with that.
Is he's actually working and,
He started last week.
Yeah.
I've gotten some phone calls on weeds.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure
the
he's over.
problem,
Yeah.
we'll get into that later.
All right, here's the liquor license.
Okay?
Tipsy Travelers, they've done that one
Oh,
before.
tipsy one.
They're a little tipsy. I like some of the names that come
Me
through.
too.
Yeah.
That's from August 2nd to August 6th.
Yep. I assume it's a wedding again.
So they don't have to put on here where they're actually having it.
It should. I think
Yeah,
it's-
they're usually out north of town, aren't they?
Yep.
And casinos?
Yep,
Does it say it?
it does on the state, yeah, the address is, it's
Okay.
Casino,
Okay.
55th Street,
Yeah. All right.
or I forget we have that, the other venue too, though.
No, we do.
I'll take a motion to approve the Class C liquor license for 5 days for Tipsy Travelers.
Everything's in order, obviously, from
Yep.
previous, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that bad?
Don't know who that is. Yes, I think, no, it's not Ben. Oh. I don't know that person. I don't know that person.
Oh, then
Is it
they-
Darren? I do not know. There, he's going around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it? Oh. Is,
Okay, we got 2 minutes.
okay, so there's the auditors and the quarterlies.
Yeah, that one should be pretty simple. Always is.
A lot of money.
Oh, you made money though.
Plot books. Plot books are always the hot item.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you two handle it since I can't see it.
Yep. Want to say it?
Motion to approve,
The auditors
yep,
Report.
auditor's quarterly report
for $75.
for $75.
Okay. I'll second it, so Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
And Primer, aye.
There you go. Now we'll do the quarterly assist. They spent a little bit more money. Of course, they got 4 months.
That's Sarah's general assistance one.
I would move to approve general assistance quarterly report.
Okay? I'll second it. She don't have a total anywhere on that though,
Well,
right?
I can tell it up if
It
it's
don't
not,
matter,
but it's
it don't
fine.
matter.
Yeah,
No.
but then I will have you guys initial the back too.
Okay. I said I'll second it, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Okay, Matt. Thank you.
So Jennifer and Brian Bierbauer are requesting to change the use of approximately 2 acres of land that's located in the southeast quarter of Section 25 in Taylor Township. In this site, it's located approximately 1/10 of a mile north of 61st Street Lane on the west side of 28th Avenue. In pending approval, they will split this area off of the 5-acre parcel that's currently owned by Prairie Creek Properties, LLC. And this entire parcel has a performance stability rating of 85, but it's not been in ag production since the 1970s. And this parcel is a grassy area surrounded by dwellings to the south and to the west. And to the north, there's a small field, as well as a larger field to the east that's currently in ag production. The applicant plans to use the current driveway that's located on the north edge of the lot. Randy Sherwood has reviewed this driveway and found it to be in compliance with all applicable policies of the county, so it may be widened if necessary. In this site, with its location near other dwellings in the area, it will not have an impact on surrounding ag uses. And that's what I have there for you. Jordan.
This is Brian.
Brian,
actually.
okay. Yeah, Jordan and Brian here. Do you have any questions for them?
There's not a pond next to the gravel road, it's just a low spot or open spot?
It was dug for a pond, but it can be filled, and they have intentions to fill it.
Okay.
Okay.
And you don't hold no water or anything, right?
No.
Especially this year? I don't see nothing wrong with it then.
You didn't have any comment or anything, right?
Nope, and yeah, we didn't receive
I
any
would just make
comments.
that in my notes.
I move we approve it.
Okay, go ahead.
We speak. We're the neighbors, the surrounding. I guess the only couple concerns I have is, well, I'll let her speak for her property. For my own property, I know everybody's taxes went up, you know, mine went up $70,000 this year. Being that we're now, I get it, we're out in the country, you can't see who your neighbors are and aren't. I love my neighbors, no issue. But to place a property directly beyond my property and over would, I believe in the future, if I go to sell, have an issue with someone wanting to get out of town and end up right in the same, you know, a cluster of houses essentially out in the middle of nowhere. And also, yes, it's a far distance for the well, for wells out there. We've got very poor water quality on the entire road, and I do have some concern of having to pull more water from that area that is already higher than my property. Our well's dug over 200 foot down, and the quality, talking to the water companies and everything, they're like, with all the people pulling from the road, you know, a well from out here, and the quality that it is, this is just what you're gonna have to deal with. So I don't see it being an effect on me as far as how far away it is, but I also don't want to end up, you know, having an issue with water out there and having to put another pump in. But it's more so a concern of mine for the value itself. I had no issue, I didn't argue the value of the property as it sat. But I think moving forward, if I have a place on 3 sides of me right out there, nobody's gonna wanna spend, you know, that 250, 300 range to move out and have neighbors if they're trying to get out of town.
Can you state your name so Haley can get that in the minutes?
Eric Lee,
Thank you.
my wife is Katie Lee.
Go ahead.
On the next neighbor, Doris Walker,
And that was my first concern too, that there's a reason why you buy a piece of property, and privacy is one of them. And also, I'm on the gravel side of that, and I've already put $952 out, and I still have dust. That's gonna add more, action on that road. I don't know if the county will come in on it. I do know that they do take that into consideration and check, how many go down through there or whatever, but that's a concern. And as he said, what's it gonna do to the water table in that area? Also, how many houses are they thinking about putting out there and how far away from us? We would like to, know a little bit more anyway, but, if it's one and it's a ways away is one thing, but I don't know what the restrictions are, or recommendations, so we just need a little more input on what we're gonna have to deal with.
And this
One house.
approval will just be for
One
one
house.
house.
One.
That's it.
Brian, speak to location where you're,
Yeah, just somewhere on the back corner of the property, I would imagine.
Kind of back by the other building.
I'm not exactly set in
Sure, a
stone.
ways off, but yeah.
I'm not exactly set in stone where it's gonna be exactly yet. Kind of have to get approved before I figure out
Right.
exactly where it's gonna go.
I guess whether it's a business or not, is it just a flip property, or is it, you
No.
guys are moving here? or-
They're building.
Okay,
The house next to you guys on the other side is a flip property, and that's actually getting listed today.
I assume that one was.
Yeah, yep.
Not trying to cause neighbor issues.
No, you're
To
not.
start-
You're
To start with
trying
you
to
guys,
get
just so you're
No.
aware.
So
And we've
there's
talked
not a
before
well
about
on this lot, right?
No, but there's gonna be.
Right, they'll have to drill a well and a new septic tank,
That is
leach field, and a
correct.
whole ball of wax.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
And these other 3 parcels that you're talking about, you two and the third one that's gonna be for sale, all 3 of them have their own wells
They
then,
do.
Barb?
Yes,
So it will not be shared well.
no.
Yeah, they're not a shared well.
Correct.
Do you know, Barb, about how deep the wells are, them 3?
They're probably 200 to 300 feet out in there. And when you speak of water quality, define that for me. Are you having aesthetics problems or pumping problems?
So it's not just
GPM?
my personal property. It's, her property's had it.
Is
one
it-
next
Further down the
door.
line,
It's
What?
the.
Pumping quality or is it aesthetics?
Aesthetics,
Okay.
so.
Minerals,
mm,
taste,
things like-
odor, and that kind of thing,
And it's on the
which,
whole road.
right, and
All-
that
all of
is,
the above.
and that is aesthetics of which, privately, you would have to deal with that, unfortunately.
Okay.
That happens to a lot of people that have well water. You can have sulfur smell, smells like rotten eggs. You have high iron, magnesium, there's all kinds of things that you
Yeah,
have.
We've spoken
Yeah.
to the companies and everything.
Yeah.
We fully understand.
It's treatable, it's unpleasant and expensive, and I understand that. It goes with a lot of wells. But your pumping quality evidently is all right, the pumping quality that you have. It's just the aesthetics that you're
With-
speaking about.
Yeah, I have just had concerns of if I would have to possibly end up deeper for the sake of, I don't know how far away, what is it, 200 feet or 200 yards for a well? In distance in between them?
if they're conforming wells, it's only 10 feet.
It's only
10 feet,
10.
okay. So I was more so concerned of that property being, how do I want to word this? I should have written this down before I guess I'm drawing a blank. I just had
Okay.
concerns of it affecting any sort of issues that I may have just being there, because I know that we're close, our
Sure.
properties are very close, and we literally have the same issues where I've gone over and, have to drain the, hot water tank because it's pulling dirt because of what's in the system, that sort of thing. So
That's a
I
pumping
guess
quality.
Yeah. I guess
Pumping
it's
quality.
something we may have to just deal with.
You know,
Well, I guess all the way down 61, that's what Lincoln told us anyway. But I was worried about water pressure and all that. I don't know, what it's gonna do. If they're far enough away,
we have to meet code,
This is
we'll
what I
keep
mean.
septic and wells separated, always.
oh yeah.
We don't vary that.
I would say, yeah, the pond's been empty for what,
Oh,
2, 3
nice.
years?
Yes.
If we get a good rain, it might have a little bit in the bottom, but it doesn't take long. It's too sandy out there.
Yep,
It won't hold water.
Yeah.
that's correct.
Did we get your questions answered, I hope?
Well, pretty much. We're hoping there isn't gonna
Hope it
be.
doesn't affect the property values too bad,
I
so.
would think it would help you.
It should,
I think so.
It
Well,
should.
I understand brand new homes. I'm more referring to the developments are moving out of town. The further you get out of Benton, it's developing. And to add another one right in there, just, I'm sure as long
This
as
is not
everybody
a
gets along.
subdivision, is it? This is just one
A single use,
property,
Rick.
correct?
Right,
Just a single use.
it's just a single use, it's not a subdivision.
Yep,
No,
right. Yep,
Around them. You got it on here. Okay. Brenda and Douglas Sutton own the ground around it.
that is correct. They farm it.
Okay.
and the nearest neighbor is to the south across the highway, is that right?
No. It'd be to the west, correct?
To the west?
I'm straight south of the property and she's straight south of the property as well.
South on a gravel road.
I missed that, what's that?
North.
And you're
Yeah.
nasty on that road.
They would be actually south of the property where they want to build this new house. The new house will be north of them.
Okay, all right. And this is ground that the church owns, is that correct?
No,
No,
this is a private.
private,
There's private?
yes,
It's not been in production since 1970?
That is
correct.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah,
It looks to me there's only a few trees on the south border fence between somebody,
That's
Yeah.
correct.
we've got-
and the rest looks like it's open,
Yeah.
according to the aerial shot. But then they're gonna, across the road then, to the east, that's farm field, that's planted, and then to the north of this property is planted, is crop ground. So actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, this would be the 5th parcel in that area.
So all the other splits in that quarter section were all done prior to the subdivision.
Okay,
They're-
you guys understand
They're
that?
old.
Done
Yes.
before
Yep.
what we have now to deal with.
Yep.
Right, right.
I know that entire property was wooded prior to them digging the pond, according to previous owner.
Okay. Well, I hope we answered your questions, but I would think it would also help the value of your house too, after they get a new house on there.
Suppose it'll be
It usually does.
whoever may be interested at that point,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
It sure
Well,
needs
it's
some
like-
more.
You made a motion, right? Already, or did he?
No.
No?
Yeah, he did, I think.
I thought he did.
For this one?
Yeah.
Oh, he
He
did?
started to
Oh, yeah.
talk,
Did he?
but before you guys let them talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll second it. I guess, Rick, do you want to vote on this too, just going by what we seen?
Oh, well,
Okay,
by the description that you've given me, I don't have a problem voting on it.
okay.
I know the area roughly. In the future, you know, if Barb and Mark could send that stuff out a day or two ahead of time, not Mark, I'm sorry, Matt, Barb and Matt, if they could send that stuff out ahead of time, that would be fantastic. Mark had done that here this year, and it was very helpful to look things over before we got to a meeting. So, just a comment.
Okay. Let's vote on it.
Pearson, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Primer aye?
Okay.
And Primer aye.
Now, just for your information, down the road, you know, when it comes to if somebody east or north wants to do a subdivision, according to our ordinance, now back me up here, Barb,
I will.
they're going to have to pave that road.
It has to be hard surface
Unless to the east they came off the blacktop,
unless they came off the blacktop.
because that's 61st Street Lane there.
Well, it's gotta come before the board anyway.
Yeah,
And even if we did a variance on that, again, it's still gotta come before the board.
Since that's even, we're talking about it, can they do anything, you know, now to help pay for some of this? It's just like, I have lung problems and I'm not 20 years old anymore. And when I'm out mowing, I'm choking out there. There's a lot of traffic by, there's an RV park, I think everybody knows, the river's there, boats, everybody lives on that road. It is awful.
28th is a primary travel to like the cabin neighborhood out
Yes.
there.
Yeah, which was prior to, they're saying the whole,
Yeah, we have our family cabin out there, so we travel 28th.
Well, this is it. There's constant travel out there, and now I've already put in almost $1,000. What else am I gonna do? I've gotta do something else. But why should I have to pay the full amount when it's so highly traveled?
but
I
it's
wish
that,
they put a counter out there at least.
it's that way through the whole county though. Especially, this year's been bad since it's been so dry.
Oh, I know.
It's not like we're not getting any breaks.
Yeah, I know,
You
but
know.
could they possibly put a counter out there to bring it to attention that, yeah, there's a lot of traffic out here?
I don't have the map with me. They did the counters of, I believe, 2 years ago, on every gravel road in the county, you know, and so I can't, I know they got the count from 2 years ago, but I can't tell you what the number is on your road. I do not
I wish I
know,
knew, I mean.
but I could look into that, you know.
I know we lived at Center Point for over 50 years, and it took a long time, and they finally put some counters out, and they couldn't believe it.
I think
A lot of
Myron
new
does,
houses out in there, you know?
I think our engineer does it either 5 or every 8 or 10 years, you know, and I know he done it, I think at least 2 years ago he done it, maybe it could have been 3.
Usually
You
we keep
remember?
records.
I don't
Probably in the
remember for
minutes
sure.
sometime, but.
Because I do remember the busiest gravel road in Benton County is down in my area. And I was just kind of shocked at that, and that's because there's 3 subdivisions
You know, see?
on that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you could have a lot of traffic too if you got cabins and all that there,
Yeah.
you know.
Depends on-
Wintertime, they probably drop off because they're not using the cabins, you know, where these 3 subdivisions there south of 30, they live there.
You know, and it's worse in spring and fall too, because of the farming
Yep.
equipment, you know?
Yep.
So,
Gets
yeah,
bigger.
it's bad.
Yep, gets bigger. I know where you're coming from. And I've been getting a lot of heat, you know, this spring because the engineer held off putting the oil down because it was so dry. And I'm using the example telling people that, you know yourself, if you ever paint it in your life, you don't paint over dust because the dust pulls on your paint. Gravel roads the same way. They could not put that MC 700 down or 70 because it was so dusty. And you know, they did my neighbors just a half mile away from me, and wasn't 20 minutes, a car went by there 50 mile an hour, and you can still see them tracks to this day, because the tar is gone, it went on the car. Lifted right off, but I mean, that's neither here nor there, it's just Mother Nature this year. Okay? So, good luck building your house.
140 is the traffic count for that.
140 is all? Okay.
28th Avenue Drive was 180.
Okay, okay, you found that, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matt. And kinda like what Rick says, next time, Matt, if you get a chance,
Yep, I can send them out.
yeah, send it to us email and we can look it over. Thanks, guys.
I should probably do that with the quarterly
No hard
too.
feelings.
I just left the printed copies in the printer.
The what?
The report from today.
Oh, perfect, that's fine, yep. And then we'll get all the subdivision stuff signed up.
Okay.
Yep, yep. So like, I'm just referring to these. I usually try to, but yesterday was a zoo, so
No, you don't have to on that.
I'm working on
Never
levies.
peanuts.
But
The only
that
one
way you
I haven't
can,
done okay yet with the sheriff because they're
his is a little longer than
15,
most.
20 pages.
Yeah.
Here, if you want to start thumbing through them, you can.
And I just got that, otherwise I would've scanned that one.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
We went by the 9:30.
Oh, was that other right side? Okay, sorry.
That was something I
And
missed.
then our phone too, what did you say the phone said, Rick? That it was vacant?
Correct, the number was vacant.
He was connected to the supervisor line and got disconnected when he tries to call back, it tells him it's vacant. But if you look at the phone,
I'll have to put in a service request.
okay, all right. I didn't know if anybody else had reported phone issues. Okay.
Not that I know of.
You want me to try it again?
No,
No, it's not.
stay right
Here,
where you
I
are.
can try to call that number.
It's working.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I had it charged up before I come up here.
Oh, your cell phone?
Yeah.
The old flip phones last longer than the smartphones. They truly do.
All right. What can you tell me?
Terry.
Employee handbook clarification on revision. Who's gonna take the lead on this?
I'll let Nancy probably too. With the holiday being the 4th of July last Tuesday, and we had all those new employees, that's kind of why she's working on payroll.
Okay?
Do you want to explain that with the handbook stuff?
So I'm building the new fiscal year in the computer and getting ready for the payroll. And timesheets are due this Friday. And the handbook from 2019 had a verbiage in it stating a new full-time employee will be eligible for paid holidays, birthday, and one personal day after 30 calendar days of continued employment.
Okay.
Our previous HR director had come to you about holidays and the handbook and made some changes to the holidays. And it is my understanding that that was approved. When I went to look at the handbook that was online, that new employees were told to print out when the previous HR director was here, I noticed that that verbiage was omitted from the handbook. So I went back to our handbook, and there is a clause, and I've got copies for you, that says, the provisions regarding work hours may be amended by a resolution adopted by the Board of Supervisors. Any such amendments will be incorporated into the employee handbook at the time of the next revision to the employee handbook. So my question is, do they get this holiday or not?
As a paid holiday?
As a paid holiday, since they had not been
Sure, you can
employed
make
for
copies.
30
No.
days.
Are those 3 copies? I'm sorry.
And that's the handbook, the revision that Kirsten made.
Sorry, there's more
Or
than one copy.
HR director made.
Yes.
Yep, she made copies. Did you give Megan one?
I have not, I can grab it.
You didn't get it.
You can have a copy.
So these individuals that it's affecting, are they salaried or hourly?
Salary?
salaried?
Yes.
Okay, then what would it matter? I guess I'm confused there.
Can I speak up?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember when I first started, I started the week of Thanksgiving. I was not paid for Thanksgiving, but I was allowed to use a vacation day for those 2 days, Thursday and Friday. And I'm salary, so I was just.
I think it was because it was within that 30
It was within
days,
30
so-
days. I started the week of, and it was, 3 days of work and then 2 days off, so.
Still like your probationary period or whatever.
Is that Ben?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. How many employees are we talking?
2.
2 for right now.
That's all?
Yeah.
2
Because
presently, but then we're gonna have another one starting next week. We had 2 start
Yeah,
this
but I'm
week.
thinking, is there any holidays?
Labor Day.
That'll catch them too?
That one shouldn't.
Probably not.
30 days.
Nope, it
That-
won't. It won't, but I just wanna know moving forward.
Understood. So, was this omitted when it was reprinted, you think? Or did we actually,
We couldn't find
couldn't
a
find
action
anything.
on it, on the minutes. so-
Okay,
And I
so-
didn't recall us discussing that part, but we
can we
did.
go back and put it back in?
I have spoken with Ray and Tim,
Yeah?
and they asked me to remove that version of the handbook from the website and put the 2019 back on
The original one,
because that's the one the majority of the employees have signed off on.
okay? I would tend to agree.
And I would agree with that as well. The new HR director, one of her directives was to rework that handbook, do the updates. So, but that's not gonna happen
Right.
overnight either.
No,
No, what she
And
wants
that's
to
right.
get an answer for the two right now.
for the 2 current presently. And moving forward, if we get a new employee in November or somebody in August, the end of
Well,
August.
plus we need to change the per diem amount in the handbook too. Remember, we changed that a few weeks ago with Myron.
Yeah, we did.
So there's a few things, but we have a note with the HR director, we'll go over all that stuff with her, but that's, some of those things we'll have to implement.
Okay.
And maybe at an employee meeting, those employees could get their revised handbook or whatever.
And we will be having that employee meeting, that was part of our discussion with Heartland.
Yep, they reached out to us yesterday actually and are trying to schedule something right away,
Good.
so.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna,
Yeah, Judy said she was gonna reach out to us first.
yep. We're thinking like August 3rd even, they're wanting us to push it. So, but we wanna talk to the new HR person before we make that.
Of course,
So,
of course.
Yep.
Good.
But yeah, she said you guys talked about that at the new meeting, so.
Okay. Well, like Tracy said, we're only talking 2 people, is that correct?
Right, as of right now. And I see,
Correct.
I see where Nancy's coming from.
I missed that, what was that?
I see where Nancy's coming from. She wants it
Right.
ironed out now, and then, instead of later.
It just makes it easier.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a mishap that line, that paragraph got omitted or what.
Okay.
So I want clarification. And like I said, Haley and I looked through the minutes, resolutions, we did not find anything.
Okay. So then it'll go back on, and then according to what it used to say in 19 then, what does that affect them to then? They gotta either take vacation?
Or go without pay that day.
Okay.
And like Ben said, that's the way it has been.
Okay.
Unless they have an
All
employee
right.
contract or the.
For them 2 individuals, I don't wanna throw them under the bus, but I guess I am. Can they have a choice? Would that be kinda stupid?
No, they can have a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, they get a choice.
Yes, yep.
okay. Well then, how about we just do that then?
Either
I
unpaid or
think that's
vacation.
what we've
Yeah.
done in the past.
Yeah,
Yes,
So,
that way we stay the same what we've been doing.
I still think I have your original email you sent me about that, so.
So do we need to vote on this to make it official?
I would think so, just because since it's
Yeah, to
written.
cover it.
I'm not saying we need to act on it.
Okay, All right.
So
Rick, you want to make a motion?
I'm making a motion that we remain the same as we have, and was that from 2019?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, that, treat them like we have the others. I don't know how to put that in the form of a motion. I'm sure Haley can smooth it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we got a second from Gary. So,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go.
Thank you. That'll help. Get your payroll going.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You done at the sheriff's report?
Not quite.
Do you want to do IDs while Ben's in here?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yep.
Number
yes.
14 that brought it up with all the new employees as well, before he goes and makes a bunch of IDs and all that, because we'll let you talk on that.
Well, basically, the state of Iowa used to be able to go to the treasurer's office and get, I'll show you. We used to be able to go ahead and get IDs that were basically like a driver's license. I don't know if you guys have seen them. And they just say county employee. Well, they quit doing that. So there was some discussion on our, I don't know if you've seen them, some discussion on our IT group about what other counties were doing. And most of the counties were going into this system called the Iowa Salamander system. It's basically what EMA uses for disasters, and they keep track of people like that, but they also have where they give you a permanent ID, so that way, if there were to say hypothetically a natural disaster here and they have the roads closed off into town, that would be a way for employees who work outside of town to bypass and get in, prove identification. So I was interested in possibly doing the Salamander system. Scott was gonna get some info, I don't know if he had that info for you. I think he told me it was like $1,200 a year to get into it, and then there was some training and setup, and we didn't have to buy any equipment or anything like that, because Ron has a badge printer, I have a badge printer. I don't know if there's different cards they use for it or not, but I have a bunch of blank cards.
The software, I think he thought was like $250 to initially get the software, but yet we could use our other stuff.
And the other option was, this would take more back-end work with me, I'll say. I was working on developing a other county ID. My only thing was, I was afraid if that was to be used, if they're gonna look at it like, well, you could have made that on yourself and you're not allowed in. I don't know what the protocols are with those.
But this is just for Benton County, though, right?
Yes.
There's
But who
quite a
knows,
few
I mean, we could have
counties on
a
it.
state patrol out there that has it blocked, or National Guard that doesn't recognize that, I don't know. Scott had said every surrounding county around us uses it and has the system, we're just one of them that has not bought into it. He goes, if there is a disaster, usually he brings in one of those other systems, but if we had it already here, it would just be ready to go for a natural disaster, but also doing IDing of all of our employees. That way they have, especially even like with the credit card, we're supposed to show ID to prove that you're who you are.
So the second one is less work, or first one is less work for you,
Yes,
but it's only like about $1,500 investment?
Yeah.
The first year, or every year?
I think I don't know for sure, Scott was telling me every year, but I don't know what the,
He will speak up on it more so, but I think the initial cost right now would be that $250 for the software. I think we can get started. But with like the new department heads getting a county credit card technically, or if they check into hotels with the county card, we say show county ID, so we need to get something implemented regardless.
saying I've kind of been hesitant on the new employees of making ID badges, because I'm like, well, do I make them one of the
Okay.
old ones that we used with our key card? Do I make them one of the newer style ones like this, or I say wait until we go with the other system?
And you got plenty of
So it's not just for
old
door
ones, right?
access, it's for other reasons.
Yeah, and then the other thought is, I'm gonna mostly eliminate those, and I have, because they make these things that cost the same amount of money as those, and they are a lot
Yeah.
stronger, a lot more well-built, and they're less likely to get lost.
Yeah, I
You
like
can put them
it.
on your keychain.
Okay.
Because those cards are $5 a piece, these are $5 a piece. We've had a lot of those get ruined, broken,
That
lost.
plastic will break and then.
Because there's literally there's like a wire that runs around the outside of it with a small little chip, and I think the wire is the antenna, and if it gets bent around enough, it severs and it just doesn't work.
But if those are lost and they report it to Ben, we can deactivate it, so. So like somebody off the street can't find it and try to get in.
Okay. So you're looking for guidance?
Basically.
Okay.
What you guys are thinking is the best.
So he can get.
I
If
the-
we need to table it and come back another week, that's fine with me. I'm not in a huge rush on it. We just wanted to bring it forward.
I kinda like that first option. Even though it's another $1,200-1,500 a year.
And then that would be universal, you're
Yeah.
like basically universally. So if like we need to go down and help Lynn County or Buchanan or something like that, we have that ID and it already shows, hey, you're a,
It kinda looks like a driver's license, Rick.
yeah, I think it has a driver's license and there's like a
Yeah.
QR code and they register like, I think like with Scott, there's certain certifications they have with EMA. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's
Which
all
I was
registered in the system.
following, what he was saying.
Okay.
But I also understood that he wasn't sure if there's an annual fee of that 1,500, is that correct?
Right.
We'll check into that a little further.
See, I think Scott was saying 1,200, but
Yeah, Scott was checking.
Scott has more of the information
Yeah,
than I do.
He just
It was-
couldn't be here today.
he couldn't be here, so I'm kind of stepping in to give you what I know.
Okay.
Okay.
So there is an annual fee.
Yeah,
Okay.
In addition to the initial setup, yeah.
and I think that's just to maintain, support and all that stuff.
Natural disaster, it would be well worth money, glad we expended along the way.
Right, and then the other thing I kinda like, Rick, is the credit card deal.
Exactly.
I kinda like that, instead of having these,
Well,
Yeah.
you write on the
I
front
I
of the
don't like
card,
how
see
those
county
look.
ID, and that way it's a double check when they go to the,
okay.
to use
I don't like how
it.
those look. It looks like a 12-year-old made them, and I know
I
I
know.
designed them, but it was, it was what I could do at the time with the time I had, and I'm not much of a
Well, years
graphic
ago, we
designer.
used
It's
to,
not
the
mine.
department heads would sign off on a form from the state, and then you could pay $1 in the treasurer's office for that ID, but they did away with that.
Okay.
And I don't know why they did it.
Well, how about this? We supposed to act on this, discuss? and
Or you
act?
can wait, I guess,
We can
but
wait till we get the stuff from Scott.
Yeah, why don't we get an exact dollar amount? How's that sound?
That works for
Sounds
me.
like at least me and Rick are on the same page.
Mhm.
But in
How about
the-
you?
in the
You
meantime-
too?
Makes sense.
in the meantime, he's just doing
Gary's
those
nodding his
little,
head, so,
the little cards for the
Yeah, little
employees, right?
fobs for people.
Yeah.
Anybody that needs a new one, I'm just giving them fobs and
Yeah.
say, here you go. Just
okay.
because it's easier, it's less likely to get, well, I guess it's smaller, but less likely to get broken.
Let's put that on the agenda for next week then.
Okay, and maybe, or maybe Scott can explain if he's at Thursday's meeting too.
Okay,
But,
yeah, I don't know if he'll be there or not.
okay.
That was all I needed.
Okay, so you're gonna table it,
Yes, sir, until we get
Okay.
more of a dollar amount.
get a little more, get a little more information.
Yep,
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Ben.
I move we approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
okay. Gary made a motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
You looked it over, you want to second it?
I'll second it. I haven't looked at it yet. He just handed it to me.
Okay. You vote on it, subject to your approval.
Okay. I'll second it then, so let's vote on it.
Beershank, aye.
Seaman, aye.
And Bremer, aye.
Okay.
Quite a lot of funds there.
So the last two.
Transfer of funds.
Yep. So what I have to do every year is, if you notice in the budget, when we do the transfers of funds, like from local option sales tax to secondary roads, that's considered just the transfer of funds, because they're separate funds. And then the interoperating funds between the general basic rural service and the land acquisition, which Shelby will be using money out of for her Hannon. So by the code section, we have to do this resolution every year so that I have authority to transfer those funds quarterly for the interfunds, but we do the lost as an as-needed basis. So if you'll act on those separately, there's those two.
Okay. 265.
It's mostly for secondary
270,
roads, yep.
2 million, okay. Do that one first, Gary.
Because if we were to need extra for what those are, that would have to be within the budget amendment, which
Okay.
I know we've talked about. I'm thinking probably September-ish, I'll get that hearing date set so that we can get some of that for those departments that are gonna need those. And then if we think we're gonna need more for her, I don't know. But that's how we would do that at a later time.
I'd almost bet you're gonna need more for her.
Yeah, so I got to thinking about that too. But then we'll do a separate one when we do that amendment.
I'd move that we approve the transfer of funds between lost funds to the secondary roads in the amount of $265,000.
I'll second it. So it's by resolution.
Beershank, aye.
Seaman, aye.
And Primer, aye.
Okay.
And then that's the other one.
Yep. I'll hand it to Gary when he gets done signing
And I'll have
that
Rick
one.
sign those when he's
Yep.
back next week too. Because I do have to give those to the auditors.
Make sure next year my name's at the bottom.
I did tweak that, I had to move it. I think that's probably why Gary had his name, remember, he's used to signing, but
Yep.
I had to remember to switch those around too. There's a lot to think about.
Okay, I'd move that we transfer from the general basic fund to the secondary road fund and conservation land acquisition fund and rural services fund to secondary road for sanitary disposal funds during 23-24 budget year.
Okay, that's your motion?
Yes.
I'll second it by resolution. Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
And Primer, aye.
Reminder too, Thursday night's a meeting for the EMS
Yep.
Advisory Council, Gary.
Thursday night,
At the EMA, or where Scott's,
Sheriff's Office,
yep.
East Door.
He said, yep, he's still a go on that, so.
Okay, and that
What
is
time?
7, I believe.
Yep, so if we think of any other agenda items we need to do this week, we could probably throw it in there before, you know.
Okay, Rick, you want to call in on that meeting or no? Skip it.
I sure can.
Okay.
I sure can.
You want to use my phone again?
I think,
Well,
or if Anna sets up a Zoom, I'll send you that. Because I
Okay,
think she sends that out to the advisory council,
okay,
because Scott has all that capabilities
Yep,
in there.
yes, he does.
So you could do it that way, I think, would be easier.
that would,
okay.
okay. You'll send out the information to me?
Yep,
You'll get it somehow.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay. Thank you.
I'll probably post that, since I'm off tomorrow for a ISAC event, so I'll probably try to post that today yet. And if we had to tweak it, we could still.
well, yeah,
amend it
you could
tomorrow.
post
Yeah.
that we're meeting Thursday night.
Yep.
But you probably won't get the information about the
The Zoom,
Zoom
yeah,
until
right.
Thursday,
Right,
so.
yeah, I'll have all day to
Yeah.
send it to me.
What's the meeting about?
The EMS emergency, they're supposed to have more
Essential service
figures.
stuff.
Okay, reports. Nothing?
Well,
Rick?
Jim,
Go ahead,
like I
Rick.
told you, I had Heartland, and the main thing there was that they were gonna reach out to us to get started with, the training. And Haley already said that Judy got a hold of her, so.
Okay. All right, well, I had conservation last night.
Oh, train.
I was down to Hannon Lake, they started pouring cement
Yeah,
on the west side. They don't have the main part of it.
they got half of it poured yesterday. Half the shop is poured. They're pouring the other half this morning.
Okay.
Okay. I'll touch on that a little bit. They got the office area poured Friday, where the offices are. And then yesterday, they poured half of the shop area to the north. And they're supposed to be doing the south half today. That's at Hannon.
Thanks, yeah,
Uh,
right along.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what can I say? Conservation last night, couple other things that, they got 260,000 they got raised so far, cash in hand, for the property that they wanna buy, at Wildcat.
How much did you say?
260,000 they got raised so far.
Okay. I thought there was a bigger amount, or maybe that was something else the last time she said.
Okay. The other thing is that, they got a lot of these Pheasants Forever wanna kick in, and they still ain't got it signed up or signed, saying that they are gonna guarantee, but it's about 50,000-60,000 they're gonna get for the Pheasants Forever. And I was really impressed that, the surrounding counties on the Pheasants Forever are helping them out. Iowa County's helping them, Tama County's helping them, Black Hawk's helping them, besides the state chapter of the Pheasants Forever is helping. So they're kind of waiting on, see what Lynn County, how much Lynn County Pheasants Forever is going to help them acquire that property.
That sounds good. Nice that they're doing that.
Yes, yes,
Well, it's to their benefit as well.
definitely. So I guess that's pretty well about it. They, did not receive, but they got the okay on the canopy grant there at Atkins.
That's the tree one, right?
Yes, so, it's just the acknowledgement that, yep, they're gonna get the tree grant, but now the work's gonna start about how they're gonna do this, how they're gonna clean that area up to plant the trees, and of course, like I told them last night, I says, as of now, this year is not a year to plant trees.
Oh, gosh, yeah,
It'd be a lot of
It's so
water
dry.
anyway.
Yeah,
yeah.
so, I guess that's pretty well about it. Saturday, Rick, I come up here and I got the carpet done for, our health gal that we got hired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her room is done, and I was pleasantly surprised when I come here Saturday afternoon, she painted the room. It looks awesome.
I told her, she could make it her own home.
It looks great.
She was busy, must have been. It looks, yeah, it's really,
Nice.
looks very nice. So what we do have a lot of furniture though that's kind of out in the hall. And then with Ben moving into, the old GIS where Matt was too,
Yeah,
I said there was a table there. I know we can do some maneuvering, but
okay.
between some manpower with maintenance and you guys possibly, because I know, did Grace talk to you? We have to move stuff from the hospital here too?
She sent me many, many emails.
Yep, so since she's out, maybe next Tuesday will work.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even say maybe Tuesday, but I was wondering about, I was gonna run it by everybody else. I got a place where I'm thinking about where to put all them refrigerators and freezers. I mean, you should've got that email too, right, from Grace? Rick, did you?
I think I did.
Yep, I
Okay.
think I sent him yesterday.
Okay, well, you know how this building is for plugs and electricity for keeping everything running. In that hallway outside of Grace's office, there is already 2 freezers and a refrigerator running in that hallway.
Right.
And I do not, that is on the same circuit Grace's office, so I do not wanna put them refrigerators in her office.
No.
No way it can handle
It'll
that.
handle the load.
Nope, nope, and I don't wanna stick a bunch of money in the rewiring to get. So, I guess I was kinda leading, maybe talking to, the transportation building, that empty office. I haven't talked to him yet, and maybe putting them 3 freezers in that empty office area. But I don't know what he's got in there, what he's using it for.
The only problem would be, can she access that then?
Yes, she could.
Okay.
She can use her badge, she'd work on that door to get in there.
But is that gonna be kinda inconvenient having it so far away?
Well, to me, it's the best option, because I mean, to put it somewhere in this building is, we don't have the power to run it,
Right.
or the office space
Yep,
at this time.
sure. Okay.
And of course, the way it sounds, they want it out of there yesterday,
Oh, yeah, oh,
you know?
yeah.
And I'm not saying this is gonna be a permanent forever deal, but I just thought, well, this would be a close option, that would be easy.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's a temporary fix.
Yes,
I don't see a problem.
okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to him after the meeting. I got a lot of people to see up here to the Benton today.
Sure.
And then, go from there, okay?
Yep.
All right, is that pretty well it, Haley?
I think we got everything I had to have done today.
You got anything extra, Gary? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Gary made a motion?
Or you did.
Okay.
Okay,
I thought you said I'll make a motion, so.
all right.
That's what I heard.
Whatever, okay.
Okay, one of you did, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, we're done. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right,
All right,
we're done.
bye.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
We'll talk to you.